Hello, I'm Junkyard Josh from Board Game Junction, and I'm here today to answer the question: should I back Dune: War for Arrakis, the newest Kickstarter from CMON Games? Uh, and today we're going to be going over pros, cons, my thoughts to answer that question. But at the end of the day, I ask you all to do your own research, to look into it, dive into it, to truly answer if this game is one that you should back or not. So to get right into it, um, we go into the Kickstarter page, scroll down, and there it is, Dune: War for Arrakis. If you're anything like me, you can't get enough Dune, whether it's the newest movie that came out or the latest board games. This is one of many. Um, and it is by popular publisher CMON Games, known for Zombicide, Cthulhu, Death May Die, and Blood Rage, many other games. So just diving into this game, it's made by the creators of War of the Ring, which is a very popular, very well-known game, a game that I really enjoy. And War of the Ring is, just to give you some insight, rated 10th overall on Board Game Geek, and rated first in War Games on Board Game Geek. So this is their attempt to take that formula into the world of Dune, which is a great narrative world. We have 2 to 4 players, 2-hour playtime. That is something to consider when you are backing this game. Just a quick overview. You're going to have, it's an asymmetrical battle between House Harkonnen and House Atreides. And just a overview of the path to victory. Each side has different ways of winning. For the Harkonnen, it's more of a supremacy, where they need to just wipe out everything on the map, take over the entire world. Whereas the Atreides has 3 hidden paths that they need to complete throughout the game. The basis of the game is that each player rolls action dice, which then determines what kind of actions they can perform, whether it's adding units to the board, activating units, activating hero powers, or drawing playing cards. Throughout the board, armies are going to clash, and you're going to roll the battle dice to determine the wins and losses of those units. One thing with CMON Games, they're very well known for their miniatures, and there are a lot of miniatures in this Kickstarter, 129 in the base. And for pros, jumping right into it, first off, CMON Games has a good track record of producing games, delivering on these games, and producing high quality games. I've backed a couple of CMON games in the past. I've always received them. I'm waiting on 2 of their latest Zombicides, which were delayed in production. But they've always, have a good track record. It says they've created 52 games that they've fulfilled. Second off, of potential reason to back this is definitely the fear of missing out factor. It is real, and unfortunately, CMON Games is well known for that. All the Kickstarter exclusives, and in their past game Kickstarter events, specifically Zombicide, the Kickstarter exclusive, you missed out on special characters, which did, limit the amount of options you had for playing the game, but you're still able to play all the different types of the game. A new wrinkle on that is right here, the Possible Futures, which is a Kickstarter exclusive. It's a exclusive game mode, bringing new characters for game sessions featuring special setups and rules. Now, whether or not this new game mode is very inclusive or really brings a lot to the table is yet to be seen. But just something to think about if you think you'd be interested in this game, and would you want to miss having this potential game mode not available. Now, normally special setups are for when you kind of get maybe tired of the original game mode and you want to get into something different, something more challenging, to mix it up a little bit. So potentially has a potential to either add or subtract, or not really add too much to the core game. But it's just something to consider. The third thing that I would say is a pro for this game would be that it's made by the creators of the War of the Ring. That's a great game, and that this formula works. And if they can bring that into the world of Dune, by all means, that could be a great potential for success. Fourth, as I'm going to say, is just the great minis. And here you can see an example of painted minis. If you're into painting minis, this is a potential that you have for those minis. And CMON Games has always come up with really good quality minis. The fifth pro I would say for backing this game is just going to be, you can expect quality production value from CMON Games from this product, and you're going to get a good product that hopefully you really enjoy. Next, diving into the cons of why you might not want to back this game. Definitely at the top is going to be cost. If we look at the Harvester Pledge, we're looking at 110 US dollars, which they do say is a $30 discount. But when you look at shipping, we're going to look into, is that a good deal or not? So that's where you're starting off at the core pledge. And that's another thing to think about for the Kickstarter exclusive is, you're paying that $110. If you back it on Kickstarter, you're getting those extra Kickstarter things included in that price. If you wait till retail, you're missing out on all those. And if you wanted to buy those Kickstarter exclusives, I found those are very pricey. You might even pay, another $100 just to get the Kickstarter exclusives or something like that. I found it's really hard to get some of the Kickstarter exclusives for Zombicide and other games like that. It costs more than the game itself on the secondary market there. Second con for backing this game is definitely going to be shipping cost, which is a subset of the total cost. If we scroll down to shipping, we're looking at most states in the US. This is estimated shipping. You're looking at $48 to $50. I would expect it to be more around the $58 just from the trend of things and the cost of things and how shipping containers, the price of them has gone up, I don't know, hundreds of percent, tripled, even more than that cost to ship things. The price of everything is just crazy out there. So you have to consider the the core pledge plus the shipping cost. And then also there is already an expansion, the Spacing Guild, $40 extra. So just something to think about if you're going to back this game. Now, I will say that from my experience, they put the MSRP there, but in most cases, whether it's Zombicide or other games that start on Kickstarter, you don't really find them for retail for what they suggest. And the prices tend to be higher. And depending on where you get them from, there might even be shipping related to it. Even going to your local board game stores, you might be paying a premium because they have a limited quantity of these games. And so at the end of the day, you might be paying just as much as you would be paying on Kickstarter with the shipping. Just something to think about. Sometimes it evens out. I would just do some research into that because I don't have any concrete research on that, but just something to look into. The third con of why you should not back this Kickstarter game is I'm going to put into the fear of missing out, the Kickstarter exclusives. you know, CMON Games adds all this stuff to the games that you can only get on Kickstarter to hype up and to increase these sales on Kickstarter. Now, that's a practice that a lot of people have a problem with, but it works. And the reason it works is because people keep backing it. So if that's something you believe in, by all means, back it. If it's something that you don't, believe in, don't want to support, that's something to consider with your pledge. Um, Another one of the cons is going to be, um, it is a 2 hour playtime, which to some people might be a pro, but to the average gamer, that's a big commitment. That's a lot of time. And also, just something to think about: is this right for you or not? And I'll put the fifth con there is going to be balancing. I found one thing with CMON Games, especially with the more champions they add and some of these Kickstarter exclusives or expansions or special additions, is that the more you add to these games, the harder it is to balance. And some of these Kickstarter exclusives tend to be broken, either too strong or too weak. Really change the effect of the game, because usually usually they do a fairly good job of the core box having it balanced. But besides that, sometimes you found a little bit of imbalance between the two. Some neutral things to consider: 2 to 4 players. It's a complex game to play, and you just have to decide whether or not it's right for you. I always stress that you do your own research, you look into it, and if you can borrow a copy of War of the Ring, or if you can watch some videos, reviews, read some reviews on that game, that's a good place to start. But also, right here on the Kickstarter page, I highly recommend, if you're interested in this game, you're not quite sure, you're on the fence, I would check out this great YouTube video by Quackalope, and it's a playthrough. And it's an hour-long video, but it gives you a good perspective of how it plays out. And it's on Tabletop Simulator, and that's the playthrough that they run through. I recommend you checking that out, and giving it a look. Also, you can play the demo on Tabletop Simulator. So if you're not quite sure, if you want to check it out, go check out that demo. Use it. You got some time, as of this video, you got 5 days to look into this, figure it out. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts, opinions are, what you think about backing this or not. I think this game has a lot of potential to be a great game, and a game that people are going to love, and has good potential to be on a lot of board game shelves out there in the future. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day.